started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Day Slay, and today I'm going to be answering questions that I got from some Instagram followers about track and field, the sport that I've been doing. The sport that I've been doing from 2008 to 2022. I did a whole bunch of events, but I would consider myself a middle distance runner / long sprinter that can jump. Yeah. So here are my PRs, because I really did do this, trust. Now let's get into some questions. We're gonna start off with something real easy. First question says, how did you become so good? Well, personally, I'm naturally competitive. I don't like losing, but if we want to go deeper than that, I would say that I like competing and making it look like it's practice. I like running fast times and making them look easy. And you know, to do that, you have to practice really hard. So I became good because I wanted to run fast times and make it look easy. I got a few questions like these. What is my favorite track event? And my favorite track event is the 800 meters. I've been running that for many years now, and I just loved it ever since I did it, to be honest. It was always like just right for me, just right in distance, just right in speed. So that was a race I was really comfortable doing. My favorite field event, however, was the high jump. I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'3" and change. So I like when I would go jump and people would think that, you know, I couldn't get over a lot of these heights because I'm short. I also liked high jump because it always made me feel like I was flying, which I absolutely love. I love practicing for it. I love competing in the high jump. I just really like it. It's kind of like soothing. It's very different from a lot of the other events. So on top of that question, I was also asked what was my hardest event and what was my least favorite event to do and why. So my hardest track event would have to be anything short sprints. I absolutely hate speed work, anything short, anything fast. It's just never been my forte. We're just natural born enemies. I don't know. I'm just not good at it. So hardest track events would be anything short sprint, and my hardest field events were always the throws. And I think that was because I was just very lackadaisical. My high jump coach used to call me, what did he used to call me? Well, for one, back then I used to have dreads, so he used to call me Rasta, but he also used to call me Cool Cat because I was just so mellow. So when it came to like attacking the bar and stuff, or attacking the hurdle, or getting out the blocks, or rotating your hips really fast, I was always real. Very running through the fields of flowers. Very chill. So I think that's why those were my hardest events, and why I didn't really like doing those, because I was more of a move at my own speed type of girl. Yeah. This next question is also a two-parter. First, what do you miss most about track? I would say what I miss most about it is the camaraderie. The teammates that you spend countless hours with, literally dying on the track to get better, become some of your closest friends forever. It's a different type of bond, I would say, because not only are you basically getting to see these people's physical vulnerabilities, which a lot of people can be very insecure about and want to hide. You're also getting the opportunity to meet these people outside of the sport and build that type of friendship on the outside, which makes the team aspect a lot stronger. I've met most of my bestest friends doing this sport, so I'm very, 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 very grateful. And the second part of this question, what do you love most about track? Something I love most about track is seeing people come out on the other side of injuries and setbacks, especially because this sport is so mental. I love being a part of their story, whether it be support or as a viewer, because that passion is so contagious and it's really genuine. For example, I had an old teammate, her name's Mackenzie Sullivan. She's also a YouTuber. I remember her freshman year here. It's definitely not my story to tell, but I do remember her freshman year here, and just to see her come back her sophomore year and have the year that she had on the track, it was absolutely amazing. Like, my heart was so full. And I love moments like that. I really, really do. This next question says, worst practice workout? And I would just like to preface this by saying that my mother's workouts were the hardest workouts I've ever done in my entire life. Okay? So for track workouts, I have two. The first one, I remember I did 400 meter hurdle repeats. I had 4. They were fast. That was actually one of the very first 400 meter hurdle workouts that I did. And I was getting ready to do it at AAU Club Nationals for the very first time. And I guess that's how she decided to prepare me for it. Another hard track workout that I remember having was during cross country season. We did 1,000 meter repeats. I believe we had 5. We did not get through all 5. And she was very upset about that. But that it was a lot. It was a lot for me. It was a lot for the people that I ran with. 1,000 meter repeats is crazy. My hardest multi-workout that I've ever done, I had a long jump morning session, and then after that I had a javelin session in the afternoon, which was promptly followed by a 600 meter tag, which is basically running a 600 all out. I just remember seeing stars that day, and I remember that they had to put ice on me because I was just unwell. Next question says, who do you look up to on the track? And I look up to a few different people for a few different reasons. First and foremost, I look up to Allison Felix because I think she is so graceful, poised, and outspoken in her own way. Like, she's definitely not the loudest one in the room, but when she speaks, there's an impact. And that's something that I look up to because that's an attribute that I would like to gain. The second person I look up to on the track is Sonia Richards-Ross because she's so well-rounded in the track world. Like, from being a dominant force in the 400 to sports broadcasting and her continuous support and involvement in the sport, even after she finished running, is something that I look up to and aspire to do as well. The third person that I look up to is Tara Davis Woodhall because of how she approaches competition, and we have the same birthday. Shout out to Tara's gang. But her positivity in her fouls, in the jumps that she makes, and how she congratulates her competition and how she celebrates herself. She's just so passionate and so raw, and I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And the last one I look up to is Ajay Wilson, 800 meter queen, because as we know, the 800 meter is my favorite event, and I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. Yeah. This next question says, did you do the multi in college? Yes, I did. I actually placed at the MAC Indoor Conference my freshman year when I ran for Eastern Michigan. Yeah, I contributed points to the team title, which was really cool. Yeah, and I got a ring for that. I got a ring my freshman year, and I was like, oh my god, I really thought I was that girl. But then when I transferred to Pitt, they didn't think that I was strong enough to withstand the training, and that's the last thing that I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I feel like If you want to know more, you should just ask them, really. This next question says, what do you think is the hardest event in track? Why is this fly like doing this to me right now? Why? 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 Come on.
Yo, did you kill that nigga?
I did.
As you should.
Anyways, based on my extensive first-hand experience, I would say that the 800 meter is the hardest event. And if you have a problem with that, what I'm going to tell you to do is to argue with your mother. This next question says, what was your favorite thing about running in college? What was your favorite thing about running in college?
Definitely the meets, like going to meets and competing, staying in the hotels, and then just like relaxing, but it's not relaxing because you still got shit to do, but it's also at the same time you get away from a lot of the normal student stuff, so it was kind of nice.
My favorite thing about running track in college was the friends that I made and the sense of team that I had, because I guess like I wasn't really on a team, not counting Plantation Heat obviously, but I didn't have a team atmosphere until high school, but I couldn't fully settle into that until college, since I moved schools a lot. But I'm very appreciative of all the phenomenal teammates that I've had in my 4 years, because they taught me a lot about the person that I am outside of the sport, which I didn't even know was important to know until I got to college. So this next question says, if you could try a new event, what would it be and why? It would be the triple jump, because the triple jump just looks fun, but it also looks a bit scary because I have seen people not make it into the sand. So I am worried about that part, but I feel like if I could get into the sand safely, it would definitely be something that I want to do. This question says, were you ever injured before? I feel like the question should be, when have I not been injured? Because I've been injured quite a few times. I strained both my hamstrings, my left groin. I've had a stress reaction in my pelvic bone. I've sprained my ankle a few times. An ankle sprain is actually the reason I ended up medically retiring my senior year in college. And I even hurt my shoulder in the weight room. So those definitely were not fun times at all. But you know, it just comes with the territory. Word of advice, I would say, instead of thinking, why me, like why am I injured right now, I've been putting in all this work and all this stuff, immerse yourself in the recovery process and really just put your blinders on, because what other people are doing right now is the least of your concern, you know. So just double down and do what you can to get back. Don't rush the process because you can't. How did you mentally prepare for a big race, championships, qualifiers, etc.? For me, I'm the type of person that needs like chill vibes leading up to a race. Having a coach that trusts what their workouts did for me, and allows me to just go out there and have real fun is a key factor for me. Aside from that, I keep the same routine because it keeps my mind at ease. So day before a race, I always ice bath, roll out and stretch. I eat pasta for dinner always, and then I'll fall asleep watching something on my iPad, because that's just what I usually do. Just keep the routine the same. I change nothing, you know. Gotta keep it cute. How was your recruiting process? My recruiting process was real interesting. Out of high school, I asked the basic questions when I was being recruited, like does the school have my major, and asking them about the type of workouts that my designated coach would be giving me to kind of see if, you know, that's something realistic for me, something that I can see myself doing. But it wasn't until I transferred to Pitt when I asked the more important questions, in my opinion, such as what type of mental health resources do you guys provide? What type of academic support do you guys have? How are you guys gonna help set me up for graduation? Like when I'm done with the sport, what are you gonna give me aside from fast times if I'm seeing myself going pro? All of this basically revolves around your life. So something that I would say about being recruited is to consider all life aspects, because college is essentially your new home for 4 years. So you want to ask any and everything. Does the mentality that you develop as a learner apply to other aspects of life? Yes, mentality does carry over. My most used example would be finish through the line. I use that all the time when I'm tired. When I feel like I don't want to go to class, when I feel like I don't want to do my homework, I don't want to do the dishes or fold the laundry, or I'm avoiding a tough conversation, I always remind myself to finish through the line. The worst thing that you can do to yourself is stay stagnant. So don't. When I feel like I'm avoiding something for the simple fact that I guess like if it's procrastination or it derives from fear or just some type of avoidant emotion, I remind myself to finish through the line, because just gotta see it through. What is your most memorable memory competing? Hello, mother. My most memorable memory competing would have to be at USATF Junior Olympic, because that was my first time that I experienced an anxiety attack before a race. It was my first year also running 3 rounds in 800, 3 rounds in 800. And there were a lot of adults that were speaking negativity on me because I was good. And they didn't want me to win. Obviously, they wanted their child to win. In hindsight, I see that the lesson was just to let people talk and to prove them wrong with my actions. But as a kid, that experience left a really big impression on me, because I realized that being good is not fun. Being good doesn't get you friends. Being good gets you left out. But that's kind of the point, right? Since those people, grown or small, weren't on my level, that would have been the point. But yeah, that was my most memorable competition, because that's when the mental game or the mental part of the sport really started to take effect on me and the outcomes I was able to produce. And that was the last question that I will be answering today. If you guys have any other questions about my track experience, or if you guys have any questions in general, I guess, just comment them down below, I guess. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back next Tuesday with another Days with Day. Bye.